Alright guys, round 4 of the 2019 Monster Energy Supercross season took place in, of course, Oakland, and it was pretty interesting. A lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of crazy things, but some action-packed moments throughout the night, and we're going to talk about it here today in this video. So we're just going to be talking about kind of like what I thought were like the highlights. We're going to go over the points and everything and the results for the night. So let's get into the video. So I'm not gonna lie guys, the whole entire night, like, it wasn't really that action packed. There weren't really too many moments that stood out to me, and there weren't really like a lot of crazy battles until the main events. Like the main events, they got a little crazy. The track, oh man, the track was destroyed, especially the whoops. I would say the whoops were like the worst whoop section I've seen all year. I mean, there's only been 4 rounds, but they were pretty bad by the end of the night, and even Cooper Webb, the man who gets on top of the box, was struggling through him. Marv was fast through him. Marv was fast through him all night, but interesting enough, he kind of fell off the pace in the middle of the main event and then managed to catch back up to Webb and be probably the fastest guy on the track in the main event. I don't really know. That's just kind of my opinion. Marv looked really strong out there, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. These videos, guys, they're pretty fun. Like, I enjoy sitting down and talking about what goes on in the Supercross and in the pro ranks and stuff, so we're going to get into it. If you guys do enjoy, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. Other than that, click the subscribe button, enter into the giveaway, and let's get talking. So like I said, nothing too crazy happened, and I kind of wrote down like a few things that stood out to me and a few moments that took place throughout the night. Now, starting off with 250 heat number 1. I think it was the first heat. I think it was the first heat. I'm not sure. It could have been the second one, but it was in like the first rhythm section off of the start. Lopes jumps onto the back of McElrath. McElrath goes down with him, and just some carnage to start off the night, you know, just a little chaos. McElrath, who is up there in the points, of course, has to come all the way from the back of the pack in the heat race. Now, I believe he finished 6th in the heat. Like, he finished up there in the heat. He qualified right into the main. He didn't even have to go to the LCQ, but just some carnage, you know. That's always crazy to start your night off with like a crash, especially when he was just cruising and then all of a sudden Lopes came and landed right on his butt. Now, McElrath did kind of drift to the outside of the track into Lopes' line. It was kind of just a racing incident, but it does suck that McElrath was kind of just thrown to the ground when he did nothing wrong, really. That was pretty much it for the action in the 250 heats. Now, moving on to the 450 heats. Oh man, okay, so Dean Wilson, the people's champ, guys. Now, we'll talk about Dean Wilson here for a second. He tweaked his knee in the heat. He tweaked his knee in the first corner. He came into the first corner, kind of lost some traction, and just put his left foot down, and with his ACL the way it is, you guys know he's torn it like 14,000 times in the last 2 years. He put his foot down and it just tweaked it. So he didn't make it through to the main event. He had to go to the LCQ, and that was some action watching that happen. So that happened in the heat race. At the same time, Bogle went down in the whoops. He kind of got sketchy in the whoops, like at the end of the whoop section, and I don't even know what happened. Like, he didn't hit the ground very hard, but the bike was destroyed. I'll try and throw a picture of it or something up on screen. The back fender, the seat, they were sitting like it was stuck in the ground, but not on the bike. The bike was like destroyed. Picture getting up from a crash. You look at your bike, there's no seat on it. His pipe, like his exhaust pipe and everything, was bent up. Like, man, his bike was mangled. These two guys then went to get first and second in the LCQ, Wilson and then Bogle finishing up 1 and 2. And let's talk about Wilson. Like, take in the fact that Wilson is out here. He's a privateer. He is a privateer. Him and his dad doing their own thing. He does have a lot of factory support. Like, he's got a lot of sponsors behind him and a lot of people supporting him. But at the same time, Wilson's out here. He's out here doing his own gas award throughout the week, and it's only 150 bucks, which I saw a post from Wilson. He's like, I know it's only 150 bucks, but I hope it helps. And I'm like, Wilson, man, you're out here. You're like a privateer doing your own thing. I know you have all the supporters behind you. Like, you probably got enough support to get you to the races and everything, but you're out here doing stuff for other riders and your competition. Like, man, people's champ right there. Dean Wilson is for the people. He is the MVP, man. I don't care what people say. Like, you don't see any other riders, any of the factory teams that actually have all this money, you don't see them doing anything like this. And then you see Wilson getting out there and giving away a gas award. I forget who got it. I forget who got it the first round, or I forget who got it the first time he gave it away, but it was just sick to see, man. It's so sick to see that Wilson's out there doing that when he's struggling himself. Like, he's out there trying to prove that he's in it to win it and everything, and then he's out here helping out other people. I don't know, man, just crazy. Something to think about. Now, also in the 450 LCQ, Angelo Pellegrini took a crazy crash, man. This crash, probably the gnarliest crash of the night. I think it was in a rhythm section. I forget which one. There was someone in front of him and they missed the rhythm, so he had to jump over and jump out of the way. Well, he chose to do that rather than choking up. He chose to go for the pass and jump kind of to the left, and basically he got a little cross-righted. It shot him a little too far to the left. He landed on the tough blocks and went down. He hit the ground pretty hard. When he landed on the tough blocks, the bike kind of just fell out from underneath him, and then he slammed into the next jump face. It was a pretty bad hit, a pretty gnarly crash, and hopefully he's okay. I haven't seen any of the injury updates or anything on him, so I don't know what happened, but he did hit the ground pretty hard. Now, moving on to the main events, guys. The 250 main event comes first. Who gets out to the early lead? Adam Cianciarulo. AC gets out front, and he was riding on the limit. He was riding a little sketchy, and usually it's when he's in the back of the pack that he's riding sketchy. He actually talked about it. I don't know if it was during the night show or if it was on Race Day Live. There was a segment with Adam. They interviewed him, and he said, you know, when he's behind someone, he does everything he can, and he wants to do everything he can to be in front of that person and win. He wants to win so bad that it causes him to mess up. Now, here Adam is. He gets out to the early lead in the main event. He's sitting where he needs to be. Like, this is what Adam needs to win races. I think Adam needs the whole shot to get out front early and check out. I don't even think he got the whole shot, but someone went down right off the I forget who it was. Wow, good recap. But Adam's out front early. He's checking out, but he's making all these like little mistakes and coming like so close to crashing that like he just needed to take a chill pill. And about like halfway through the race, you could see that like he calmed down, he collected himself, and he just focused and focused on going forwards and charged, and he got that main event win. So AC coming in, getting that win. And Dylan Ferrandis coming in from like kind of mid-pack. He didn't have a great start, but he wasn't like way back there either. He came up, he was pushing past people, including Colt Nichols, his teammate. They made contact. Then Ferrandis came over the wall jump into the sand section, and there was a lapper in the main line, and he just sent it anyways and just pushed the lapper out of the way. It was crazy. It really showed, like, I don't know, kind of like that European aggressive style of riding when they're like in the MXGPs and stuff. I don't know, man. It reminded me of being at MX Nations watching these guys shred. Like, Ferrandis was a shredder out there as well at MX Nations. So I don't know, it was crazy watching him push people out of the way, and he got up to second place. Like, he made Colt Nichols look like he was standing still out there. I don't even know. Ferrandis was on the gas when he was coming through the pack. So the results for the 250 class ended up being Adam Cianciarulo, Dylan Ferrandis, and then Colt Nichols rounding out that podium. And for the 250 points, we have Colt Nichols leading with 91 points. I mean, Colt Nichols, he kind of has been going a little bit backwards from the start of the season. He performed really good at A1. He won the first round, then he got second, and then he got third, and then he got third here at Oakland. So he just hasn't backed up that first place with another win. I mean, he's still getting really good results. Podium finishes, still having the points lead. You can't really complain. But when there's only 5 points separating the top 4 riders, it's getting pretty close, and whoever wins the next race is pretty much going to be the points leader. We have Colt Nichols with 91, AC Adam Cianciarulo in second with 88, Shane McElrath with 87, and then Dylan Ferrandez with 86. So these guys are all really close in points. Now moving on to the 450 main event, it wasn't really too crazy of a main event. We saw Cooper Webb, who dominated at the Triple Crown. I wouldn't say dominated at the Triple Crown round last weekend, but he had a good result at the Triple Crown last weekend, and he came out here and he got the whole shot in the main event. And pretty much what happened was Webb rode his own race and all the chaos happened behind him. We had Marvin Musquin right there on him right off the start, and then Marv fell backwards. It was kind of crazy. Like, Marv fell backwards, Tomac and Roxon came up through the pack, and then Tomac missed a triple and Roxon messed up somewhere, and next thing you know, Marv was back ahead of both of them, and they were all going back and forth, and then while Webb was like checking out, Webb was pretty far ahead. Next thing you know, on the last lap, Musquin is like right behind Webb, pushing him and trying to make a pass on him for the win. So it was just kind of chaos, but everything kind of happened behind Webb, and by the time Marv got back into his groove, like, I don't really know what happened to Marv. He looked really strong at the beginning, and then really weak in the middle of the race, and then really strong at the end of the race. So I feel like if Marv managed to pull together like a perfect race and managed to clean up the middle of his race, I feel like he would have won. Like, something happened. Like I said, like, all the chaos happened behind Webb, and Marv was just part of it, and I don't know what happened to him, but he ended up turning it back on in like the last couple laps and caught right up to Webb. A couple more laps, probably one more lap, and he would have won the race. So there you guys go. There is the first repeat winner for both classes. We have AC in the 250 class becoming the first repeat winner for the 2019 season, and then in the 450 class, Webb, counting last weekend's Triple Crown win and then this win here in Oakland. So Webb's on top, man. It's kind of cool to see that one of the people that no one really expected to be like the first repeat winner of 2019 was the first repeat winner of 2019. Like, who expected Webb to get out there and get 2 wins before someone else, before we've even seen a win from Roxon or Marv or some of the other top dogs? Like, it's just crazy to think. But the results for the 450 class ended up being Cooper Webb, who led every single lap, Marvin Musquin, who finished a solid second, and then Blake Baggett, who actually came up through the pack with Marv for his second time. When Marv was making his charge up through the pack, Blake Baggett was as well. And then the points for the 450 class, guys, Cooper Webb is the new points leader with 83 points. Ken Roxon is behind him with 81 points. Eli Tomac is then in third with 80 points, and then Marv, the boy Marv, with 79 points. So an interesting round. Like, a lot of cool things happened, a lot of crazy crashes and stuff, a lot of cool battles, a lot of crazy battles, and it's something to think about when you look at like the results of the top dogs in the last 4 rounds, in the first 4 rounds of the season. Like, you see people like Ken Roxon and Marvin Musquin who have been up near the front consistently and who have been kind of expected to win some races, but they haven't won anything yet. And are they just kind of all holding back? Like, they all know it's a 17 round season and they don't want to risk it, they don't want to push it and make their season, you know, a 5 round season, right? Like, they want to make it all 17 rounds. Is that what's happening? Or are they just not in the groove, right? Like, are there a lot of new competitors that are at that level? I think that's what it is. Like, there are a lot of people at the same level now, and starts are huge, and you have to nail your marks your entire race or else someone's gonna be right there, right? So I don't know, I think it's cool to see Cooper Webb getting on the box, getting on top of the box, that is, here in Oakland, and kind of backing up his last weekend result. I think it's cool to see that, just because a lot of people didn't expect Webb to win, and a lot of people were just like, oh, it's just luck, oh, it's a fluke, whatever, oh, it's just Webb getting lucky once, and here he is, he did it again. So it's gonna be cool to see if Webb gets into that 250 groove. You know, you guys remember when he got that 250 championship and he was just dominating? Like, Webb was the man that year. So It'll be cool to see if he can do it again next weekend, but that's it from me, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, smash that thumbs up, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace out.